and welcome to Shannon Reviews, where I just review stuff. And yes, as the title suggests, I like the 2004 Phantom of the Opera movie. I understand that people don't like this film. Some parts waylaid from the novel and Broadway show. The actors, the singing, I get it. So I know there have been tons of videos explaining the flaws of the film, but no one's really ever explained what the movie did right. So that's what I'm going to try and do today, explain my view on why I like it. And if you guys don't like it, that's perfectly fine. You're entitled to whatever opinion you want. Just as long as we have a civilized conversation about it, that's all good. So, let's get started. I absolutely love this. The overture and the transition from the present back to the past just makes me smile from ear to ear. They probably didn't have to film certain scenes in black and white, but I get why it was done though. The music from beginning to end is all ear candy. And yes, I said ear candy. You can definitely hear the difference between a Broadway show orchestra and a film orchestra. Not a bad day to have this soundtrack blasted on full volume. So when you do film adaptations like this, sadly you have to make certain changes from the original source material. Now, some are good, some are bad. So here are two changes from the Broadway show to the movie that I personally think worked. That being the chandelier fall and the sword fight. In the Broadway show, when Raoul and Christine are at the cemetery, the Phantom starts shooting fireballs at them. While it works on stage, it probably wouldn't have translated well on the big screen. So instead of fireballs, not the drinks, the film has a sword fight between the Phantom and Raoul, which not only works, but makes sense in terms of the time period, and you can clearly see these two men fighting over Christine. The second is the chandelier. The chandelier falling is a pivotal moment in both the show and the movie. In the Broadway show, it falls when Carlotta is singing but suddenly loses her voice. This marks the end of Act 1 and leads into the intermission. Way back when movie musicals had intermissions, such as Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, today's musicals, however, don't. So instead of having the chandelier fall towards the first half of the film, it's towards the end, as we see the opera house go up in flames. I know. Just hear me out a minute. The cast in this is fine. Minnie Driver's Carlotta, for example, is a total riot. She is an absolute diva in this. And yes, I know she can actually sing, but her voice is more pop than opera, and they needed an operatic voice for this film. So they kind of did like a Singing in the Rain type of thing, and had a voice dubbed. A musical within a musical. You guys are here for the trio though. The Phantom, Christine, and Raoul. So, here are my thoughts on them. Let's start with Emmy Rossum as Christine Daae. I personally love both her performance and her voice. It's soft and angelic. And I know a lot of people compare Emmy to Sarah Brightman, but I think Emmy was 16 or 18 when doing this film, so a tad bit of slack should be given. Next up, we have Patrick Wilson as Raoul, the Vicomte de Janine. Both Patrick Wilson and Emmy Rossum were trained in this type of genre, and it clearly shows. Patrick Wilson has a great voice, and the chemistry between him and Emmy is great as well. You can believe they are in love. Raoul isn't one of my favorite characters both in the film and the Broadway show, but Patrick Wilson is hard to hate. And finally, you know what's coming. So, there are those who say that the female audience who enjoy this film think that Gerard Butler is some sort of sex god. Well, as someone who enjoys this film, I know for me personally, that is 100% true. He can sing to me any day. This was the film that made me fall in love with him. He's just so gosh darn sexy. And I know some are crazy about his voice, but you know what? More for me to enjoy. And have you seen him in 300? Holy schnoz. I guess you can say this film is a guilty pleasure for me. Are there issues? Yes. Do I still enjoy it despite the issues? Yes. And as I said, if you don't like this film, it's okay. You as a human being on this planet have a right to like and dislike whatever you want. And don't let anyone change your view. Stick to your beliefs. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Shannon, and this is Shannon Reviews. Bye.